Next is laws relating to women and provision for representation. So there are some laws written to protect the women, and there are some provision written by the constitution that what are the provision is benefit for the women actually. In the post-independence period, means after the independence, efforts were made for empowering women. So women also got power in the after the independence. Taking into consideration the problem of women, several policies have been adopted at national and international level to remove illiteracy among women and to make available opportunities for the development. Now there are women who are illiterates, they are not educated, so they will not get a job. But after the post independence period, after the independence, women were also got education, they also got some of the good jobs because of the education. And nowadays they are also elected in the like politics and some of the municipal corporation work. Why? Because they are illiterate, they are literate, they are educated. If they are educated, they will get more job opportunities and they will take into the development because of these policies. And these policies have been made by the government to protect the women's benefit. The right to have an equal share the property of the father and husband. Nowadays people who are living in one house, or after the marriage, the girls or a woman is leaving the house and they are going to other house. But nowadays government has been written in the parliament that they should share the property as a equal with the father and husband. And there was some action taken place and the provision written for the protecting to women, like the dowry prohibition act prohibition. Now, dowry prohibition act means the person who are harassing the woman or they are taking मनी हुंडा लेते जो दहेज होता है, वो एक्ट स्टॉप करने के लिए, बिकॉज इट्स लाइक अ क्राइम एक्चुअली, एक्ट अगेंस्ट सेक्सुअल हरेसमेंट. like in some of the places, working places, they are harassed by the people or the person. That should be banned. There should be some protection for the lady. Domestic violence prohibition. Domestic means people who are in the house, they are beating to the woman. There should be some of the provision to stop that. Act are there are some important provision which are create a favorable environment for protection of freedom for women. So women will also get a protection and they will be freedom of securing their development in the country. This is made by the constitution. This is some provision written by the constitution that women should also protect, women should also get an equal right as compared to the men. So when women will get the job opportunities, when they will be literate, they will be getting jobs when they will be equally treated with the men's or male. In a country, from the very beginning, women have inadequate representation in politics and political institutions. So in a country, from the beginning only, we are having less number of representation in politics. Women were not participating in the politics, so there is inadequate of representation in a institution. Many countries in the world have made efforts to increase representation of women. So there are some countries who have taken the efforts from the women, so they are also interested to participate in the politics. So there are some countries and the women's belonging to their countries. From this perspective, changes are taking place in India as well. The 73rd and 74th amendment reserved 33% of seats are reserved for women in social governing institutions. Self-governing institution means like Panchayat Samiti, Sarpanch or Nagar Sevak. These are the local governing institution, and this change took place in the 73rd and 74th amendment. Amendment means changes had taken place, and these seats are reserved for the women. That women can, if the woman is interested in the politics, they can also come and participate. This percentage has been raised to 50% in several states including Maharashtra. So this percentage has also increased in several states including Maharashtra also. Instead of 33, there are 50% seats are available for participating in the politics for the women. Next is role of judiciary. Judiciary means the court, like Supreme Court, High Court. These are the judiciary who will help the people, or if they are having some problems in the society or in the working place, the judiciary will interfere to give them a justice. The judiciary in India has played an important role in strengthening democracy and helping to make towards achieving the objective of social justice and equality. If the people are not getting proper justice from their area or from the big offices, the government or the judiciary will interfere. Take the example of you're working in some of the fields. If anything happened wrong in your in your institution where you're working, if you will not get a justice from the government or from the parliament, then the judiciary will help. Judiciary will take your case into consideration to protect you from your social injustice. While interpreting the provision of the Constitution, the judiciary has always taken into consideration of fundamental objective of the Constitution and also the intention of the Constitution maker. So there are some Constitution written for the judiciary, that if you're not getting proper rights or fundamental objective from the Constitution, then the judiciary will help you in the coming from their injustice. We will try to understand the contribution of the judiciary in this regard with the help of the following points. So there are some contribution from the judiciary side with the following points. We'll see what are the first point of the judiciary. First is the basic framework of the Constitution. Basic framework means what are the change and what are the changes they have taken place in the Constitution. That is called basic framework. Like in 73 and 74th Amendment Act, there are some seats reserved for the women. So this took place after the amendment of 73 and 73rd in the Constitution. Now we'll see. The Constitution is dynamic. The Constitution is dynamic means we can change our Constitution, but we cannot change fully the part of the Constitution. We cannot change the structure of the Constitution. If something is written in the Constitution, that cannot be changed by the person. These rights are having only the judiciary. Judiciary can change the sum of the Constitution. We cannot change, or the parliament cannot change the Constitution. It is a living document. The Constitution has to change according to changing condition, and the parliament has a power to make those changes. Means parliament is having the power to change the whatever they want to change in the Constitution. But the judiciary will check whether that information is written in the Constitution is good or not. If that information is not good, the parliament cannot change the structure of the Constitution. The judiciary has accepted this power of the parliament to make changes in the Constitution, but at some time specified the limitation on this power. So if they want to make some of the changes in the Constitution, they can change, but the whole structure they can't change, because it is coming from the olden times. और जो भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में लिखा हुआ है, जो भी गवर्नमेंट ने पहले अप्लाई किया हुआ है, वो हम पूरा चेंज नहीं कर सकते. बस उसके थोड़े जो इन्फॉर्मेशन है और वट एवर थिंग्स वॉन्ट्स टू चेंज इन द मॉडर्न टाइम, दैट वी कैन चेंज इन द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन फॉर द बेनिफिट ऑफ द पीपल. The judiciary has taken a stand that the parliament, while amending the constitution, cannot alter the basic structure of the constitution. So this is the judiciary, the court has been given the warning, or has given a amending to the constitution, that they cannot change the whole structure of the constitution. Only the some parts of the information in the constitution they can change from the judiciary side. Next is significant judicial decisions. So what are the decisions taken by the court, and what are the some of the cases they have finished and they have given the justice? We'll see the significant judicial decisions. The protection provided to the citizen by fundamental rights in the Constitution has been made more meaningful through the various decisions of judiciary. If you are not getting proper justice from the government or from the area where you are working, the judiciary will interfere and he will take your case for solving from the injustice where you are getting. So this judiciary plays a very important role. Why? Because you person will get a fundamental rights from the judiciary only if something happen wrongs with you. Some of the important subject on which the court has given judgment include rights of children. Means there are some important subject which the court has given judgment. Means उन्होंने उनके लिए न्याय दिया था, judiciary ने न्याय दिया उनको. Like rights of children means जो children को rights मिलना चाहिए, they should not work till the age of 14. प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ ह्यूमन राइट्स, ह्यूमन राइट्स के प्रोटेक्शन उनको प्रोटेक्ट करना चाहिए. वॉट एवर द ह्यूमन राइट्स आर हैविंग, दे शुड गेट ऑल द राइट्स फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट. प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ द ऑनर एंड डिग्निटी ऑफ वुमेन. सो वॉट एवर द protection of women we are having, we should respect them. We should not we should not differentiate between men and women. We should protect the women. So that was protected from the judicial. Individual freedom, so every person has a freedom to write in country or to live in country. The tribal empowerment, the tribal people should not be neglected, they should also have a rights in the country. The political process in India is more mature, so we are having mature politic process in a country. So this is the information of significant judicial decisions, and this decision was made by the Supreme Court or the High Court, or they can solve your problems. So in this chapter, we took a review of the constitution and the working of the government on the basis of the constitution in the context of democracy. So we have seen what are the constitution has implemented and what are the provision they have given in the constitution and what are the changes have made by the judiciary. We have seen in this lesson. There are many challenges before India's democracy. Government act and policies have not put to an end to all the problems. So the government have not ended the policies which are made from the parliament. There are several new problems confronting us. However, what is important is the people in India have developed a democratic mindset. So people are there in the India, they have a democratic, means the people are coming together, they are forming the unity and they are having a mindset towards the country. So hope you have understood the chapter. In the next chapter, we will study about the election process, how the election process is taking place in a country. Thank you for watching the video.